Today I'm going to try to make learning Ukrainian easier in this feature-length video. I've written a book and it's called Ukrainian One Day at a Time. All my income from this book will be donated to the Disasters Emergency Committee to help people on the ground. Shall we make a start? Let's get to it. Introduction. A book to make the Ukrainian language easier to learn. We can welcome Ukrainian people who arrive in our communities, and one way of doing that is by learning a few words of their language. Ukrainska is a Slavic language. It is not in the same группе of languages as Angliska. So there are fewer similarities between Angliskую ta Ukrainskую than there are between English and German, or Angliskую ta Ispanskую. Because Ukrainian is more different for us, it's also more difficult for us. That doesn't mean, however, that we can't get these sounds to come out of our mouths. We can do it. Learning a language can be a significant step towards making friends with people who have come z Dyakuyu. This book has been written to help you learn a few words. I did not speak any Ukrainskую before starting this project, so you're taking a learning journey with me. Ukrainian is different. The alphabet is different. They don't use words for a and the. They don't use s to make things plural. Nouns have gender. Nouns change a lot. There are formal and informal words for you. These differences make learning a bit of Ukrainian challenging, but this is act of friendship to the people of a country who need support at this time. All profits from the sale of this book go to the Disasters Emergency Comitetu to help provide humanitarnu aid to those affected by the conflictu. Ukrainska uses the Cyrillic alphabet. You don't have to learn this to speak the words, ale це корисний інструмент. Doroslí Ukrainci can help you to say the words correctly if they can see what you're saying in print. Here it is in case you meet a Ukrainca who would like to help you learn the language. This is not going to be easy, ale I will make it as easy as I can. That means it's not going to be idealnym, but hopefully it's going to be funkcjonalnym. We can support each other more if we can communicate. One last thing before we get right into it. You will have noticed that I am including Ukraińskie słowa written in the Roman alphabet and embedded the text. Будь ласка. Sound these out as you read them. The temptation might be to skip over them, ale by taking the time to form the words in your mind, you are beginning to learn a little more of the Ukraińsku mowu. If you're going to read a book, you might as well read it properly. That way you get the most from it. Having a go is an act of drużby ta solidarności towards the Ukrainian people. Guess test 1. What do you think these words from the text mean? Группи, Angliska, Daleku, akt, konfliktu, ale це корисний інструмент. Dorosli Ukraińcy. Ale. Idealnym. Funkcjonalnym. Ukraińskie słowa. Будь ласка. Ukraińską mowę. Drużby ta solidarności. First words. If you want to communicate with people who are old enough to be able to read and write, make sure you both have the Google Translate app or similar on your telephone. Then you can type in what you want to say and show it to each other. In this Star Trek-like age, it is still a beautiful idea to learn some of the language to use without recourse to your telephonu. Here are some simple sliv to start with. Hello.
Привіт. Привіт.
Yes. Tak. Tak. No. Ni. Ni. Please. Будь ласка. Будь ласка. Thank you. Дякую. Дякую. Sorry. Вибачте. Вибачте. I don't understand. Я не розумію. Я не розумію. Show me. Покажи мені. Покажи мені. Write it here. Напиши це тут. Напиши це тут. Do you like it? Вам це подобається. Вам це подобається. I like it. Мені це подобається. Мені це подобається. What is it? Що це? Що це? Food. Їжа. Їжа. Drink. Пити. Пити. Good. Добре. Добре. Do you want it? Ви хочете. Ви хочете. I don't want it. Я цього не хочу. Я цього не хочу. More. Ближче. Ближче. Enough. Достатньо. Достатньо. I don't know. Не знаю. Не знаю. Rest. Відпочинок. Відпочинок. I have forgotten. Я забув. Я забув. That's not necessary. Це не потрібно. Це не потрібно. Look. Подивіться. Подивіться. Here. Тут. Тут. Toilet. 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 Later. Пізніше. Пізніше. Tomorrow. Завтра. Завтра. 1 minute. Одна хвилина. Одна хвилина. Careful. Обережно. Обережно. Always. Завжди. Завжди. Never. Ніколи. Ніколи. Mine.
Me. Me.
Yours. Твій. Твій. Come here. Ходи сюди. Ходи сюди. For sharing. Для обміну. Для обміну. For you. Для тебе. Для тебе. Repeat, please. Повторіть, будь ласка. Повторіть, будь ласка. I don't speak Ukrainian. Я не розмовляю українською. Я не розмовляю українською. We need Google Translate. Нам потрібен Google Translate. Нам потрібен Google Translate. If you could learn this set of sleeve, that would be a fantastic start. It might be easy for you to make groepie of 5 sleeve. Switch them around so slova are grouped in a way that seems logiczny to you. Put them on flashcards, either fizyczny ones or use a flashcard app such as Quizlet. Test yourselves several times na den, because if you're anything like me, remembering takes a lot of repetition and focus. Czas you take is up to you, ale I'm going to add одну група на день and see how I get on with that. Good luck. Удачи. Say hello. Hello. Привіт. Who are you? Хто ти? I'm Tom. Я Tom. And you? І ти? Привіт. Привіт. Я Tom. І ти? Я Alexander. I learned a little Polsku when I lived in Poland for 18 months, but that's it for my knowledge of Slavic languages until now. I'm using Google Translate for these, listening to the pronunciation and repeating it several times before I write what I hear within speech marks. If you feel unsure, go and have a listen. My name. Moje imię. Your name. Twoje imię. My name is Tom. Mnie звати Tom. What is your name? Jak was звати? Ja Tom. I ty? Moje imię Tom. Mnie звати Tom. Jak was звати? Mnie звати Mikola. Isn't it strange that to say my name, you say moje imię, but to say my name is, it changes to mnie звати Tom. I suppose this is just because angielska ta ukraińska have different typy grammatyki. As a language teacher, I think it's important to get beginners used to the sounds and meanings of some of the language before investigating the complexities of the grammatiku. I learned Hiszpańsku for 10 years before studying the grammar. That is an ekstremalny example, but we won't go into ukraińsku grammatiku here and now. We just want to be welcoming and offer friendship. Good morning. Доброго ранку. Good afternoon. Доброго дня. Good night. Na dobranoc. Goodbye. До побачення. An informal way to say goodbye is papa. Say it like this. Papa. It's like saying bye-bye. Please. Будь ласка. Please come in. Будь ласка, приходьте. As I've never met Ukrainian people before, I'm trying to read about the nation в интернете. Some of it might be true. Я читав that Ukrainians like to dress smart, particularly жінки. It says that men are expected to be chivalrous, opening doors, pulling out chairs, and paying в ресторанах. Українська бабуся, or granny, is small, tough, and wears a headscarf. The national dish is borscht, a beet soup with lots of variety. The cuisine is based on plentiful grain and vegetables such as potato, cabbage, mushroom, and beetroot. This quote is from theculturetrip.com, 16th of July 2018. Ukrainians are very friendly and welcoming. They love veliki групи and gatherings, always help each other and consider all people around them to be their best друзьями. Guess test 2. Polsku, angliska ta ukrainska. Typy gramatyki, gramatyku, hiszpansku. Ekstremalnie, ukraińsku gramatyku. W internecie. Ja czytaw. Żynki. W restoranach. Ukraińska babusia. Wielkie grupy. Drużamy. Доброго ранку. Привіт. Я Том. І ти? Як вас звати? Мене звати Мик. Welcome to our home. This is our home. Це наш дім. You are welcome here. Ласкаво просимо. Please sit down. Будь ласка, сідайте. Would you like a drink? Хочете випити? Read it out loud all together. Це наш дім. Ласкаво просимо, будь ласка. Сідайте. Хочете випити? As a language teacher, I encourage студентів практикувати memorizing set pieces during lessons and for homework. My parents used to do this with моїми братами and me at the dinner stolom. We can all ask for a handkerchief in German. В дитинстві ми memorized sentences with lots of repetition, along with competition to prove who was the most intelligent and the quickest. It was весело. To memorize a set piece like the one here, я рекомендую a combination of presence, effort and demonstration, otherwise known as showing off. For presence, make sure you have the language to hand, written down in ukrainskую та англійською, and in your back pocket whenever it isn't in front of your eyes. For effort, do the look, test, check metodu of learning. Demonstracja prosta. Znajdi druha and tell them what you've learned. Even better, teach it to them too. You must be tired. Ty na pewno zdomłysja. This is your bedroom. Це twoja spalnia. Here are towels for you. Ось рушники dla was. For laundry. Dla prania. This is the Wi-Fi code. Це code Wi-Fi. These are for you. Це для вас. Here are some tips from the hospitality industry. Let your guests know it's a pleasure for you to be their host. Thank them. Tell them they're welcome and ask them if you can get them anything, as they might be too shy to ask for themselves. I'm happy to help you. Я раді вам допомогти. Thank you. Dyakuyu. Welcome. Laskavo prosimo. Can I get you anything? Можу я тобі щось принести? Guess test 3. Студентів практикувати моїми братами столом. У дитинстві я рекомендую українською та англійською методу. Демонстрація проста. Знайди друга. Ласкаво просимо. Це наш дім. Хочете випити? Так, будь ласка. Мені це подобається. Це для тебе. Дякую. Це твоя спальня. Families. My mother. Моя мати. My father. Мій батько. My children. Мої діти. My friend. Мій друг. When I was 12, I went to Germany on a town exchange trip. I stayed with a wonderful family who are still my friends, and they are still in my life now, several decades after we first met. I stayed with my German druha, Andrea, several times. Її батьки were both kind and engaging. Brunhilde, mate, now babusia, is the quieter of the couple because she speaks less anglійською. She was almost always busy, and if it was something vesele, like cooking or tending to kurami, she would beckon me and invite me to join in. Gunter, Bachko, now grandfather, was confident to use minimal English he had to talk to me at every opportunity. He would say the same things, znovu I znovu. Some of his favourite things to say were moja anglійska idealna. Your German is perfect. You are an ambassador for England, as well as telling me that he could eat a whole banana sideways because his mouth is so wide. Gunther and Brunhilde didn't ask me too many questions. Ale, they succeeded in making me feel like I was part of the Simje. If you are welcoming Ukraińców people u swojemu domi or community, you will find your own way to do it. Fleeing from war is very different to a cultural exchange trip. The people you meet will probably need kompania of other Ukrainian people rather than having extended conversations across Mowni Baria. That is why I think Gunther and Brunhilde are a good model. They were unintrusive. They gave me space to rest. They were happy for me to talk to other English speakers, and they were open and welcoming when I was ready to engage. Ukrainian people will want to be part of Ukrainian communities. However, you're at home, you know how things work here, and your support is important. You can enable those connections. You can help people charge their devices, maintain contact with loved ones, and access services. Whether you help with a kind slovom or with space u vashumu domi, you are making a difference. Keep loving your serce and know that it is difficult and you're doing your best. In this section, we are exploring and studying some slova related to family. Later on, I will look at language related to communication, accessing services, house rules, and so on. This is not a linear course. If you would like to skip ahead, of course you can. Every section of this book is for absolutely beginners. so it doesn't matter if you want to prioritize another section. Family, simyi. Parents, batkiev. Brothers, brate. Sisters, sistri. Sons, synyev. Daughters, dochok. Grandfather, diedus. Grandmother, babusia. Slova like simya, brat, I dochka are nouns. You might have noticed, you might not have noticed, that the endings of nouns change quite a lot. Ukraina is a noun. Here are some examples of how it changes. Ukraine is a large country. Ukraina velika kraina. Ukraina. Kiev is the capital of Ukraine. Kiev je stoliceю Ukrainy. Ukraina. You must visit Ukraine. Ви повинні відвідати Україну. Україну. Moja meta here is to learn a few words in Ukrainian so that I can welcome people who might come into my community z Ukrainy. Ja novachok, so I'm going to learn as much as possible, as fast as possible. Jak dитина, who is learning to speak for the first time, I'm aiming for communication. As I make progress, I might become interested in the rules that govern the correct endings for all the nouns, but that will be later, much later. Brother can be brat, brata, bratovi, bratom, brati, brate. Sister can be sestra, sestri, sestru, sestroju, sestri, sestro. If I'm talking about braciv i sester in the plural, then there are even more words, and getting them right will take too much bandwidth in the brain of a beginner. Yak ya. At this point, therefore, I don't want to slow or stall my progress by paying attention to something that I think is too difficult for me to grasp. Ja znаю that there are differences, and for now, that's enough. Try to learn some key sliv. When you meet Ukrainian people, try to use some of your key sliv I fraz. Here is a convenient list of rodinnych sliv. Family. Simya. Mother and father. Mate ta batko. Brother and sister. Brat I sestra. Son and daughter. Syn I dochka. Grandmother. Babusia. Grandfather, dieduis. Children, dieti. Friend, drua. Love, lubov. Simya is an important tema for humans. The hard pravda is that Simyi z Ukrainy have been separated, as dorosli men are required to stay and milioni żinok are leaving in search of safety for themselves ta swoich dzieci. I think semajnie slova are important for a couple of reasons. If members of your rodziny ever come to was do domu, they will be coming into the temporary home of any bieżeńców you are hosting. It might be good manery to present them. People may have travelled and found places to stay in semajnych grupach. Mothers and their dzieci may have rodziców ta drudziew at an accessible відстані, perhaps also taking refuge in your town or city. If so, a person might like help to maintain contact. Ja nie znаю. I just think we need to remain aware and to listen to people. I think we need to pay attention na slova, to words, voice and body language, and try to do our best. This is my father, це мій батько. This is my brother, це мій брат. This is my son, це мій син. This is my mother, це моя мама. This is my sister, це моя сестра. This is my daughter, це моя дочка. She is beautiful. Вона прекрасна. Where is she? Де вона? Guess test 4. Look at these words that were embedded in the text in the families section. It's a big section. Make your guesses. Її батьки англійською. Знову і знову. Сім'ї. Компанія. Мовний бар'єр. Моя мета як дитина. Я знаю мільйони жінок. Вас додому. Сімейних групах. На слова. Record yourself speaking. Це моя мама. Здравствуйте. Як вас звати? Мене звати Mary. Як вас звати? Мене звати Катерина. Це моя сестра. Вона прекрасна. Де вона? Тут, в Англії. House Rules Part 1. It is a good idea to talk about house rules if you have a stranger coming to stay. If you tell your guests to make themselves at home, this might be welcoming, ale it might also be bewildering. House rules are a good ideu for everyone involved. I hope you can adaptувати the suggestions I make to suit your situation. I'm coming from a position of personal ignorance, never having hosted a refugee. I have read other people's testimonies, and I hope that some of what I offer can be useful to you. At the door. Come in. Uvidjet. Welcome. Laskaво prosimo. Lock the door. Zamknuti dveří. Put your shoes here. Postavte tufli sюди. This cupboard is for you. Це шафа для вас. This shelf is for you. Це полиця для вас. You can cook. Можна готувати. You can use these. Ви можете використовувати ці. Wash your dishes. Помий посуд. Put rubbish here. Клади сюди сміття. This can be recycled. Це можна переробити. This is compost. Це компост. Can is a recurrent word. Може. Може. I'm enjoying some of the sounds of Ukrainian, such as the sh, sh. It's like a sh, but with a z. Sh. I can is я можу. You can is ти можеш. Times and routines. I go to sleep at 10. Я лягаю спати о 10. I wake up at 6. Я прокидаюся о 6. Be quiet when I am asleep. Тихо, коли я сплю. I cook at 6:30. Готую обід на 6. I go out at 7. Я виходжу о 7. I come home at 6. Приходжу додому о 6. I don't know. Не знаю. Я не знаю your routine. Here's a big old коллекция of clock times you might like to chant. With the Ukrainian sounds that are so unfamiliar to anglomовник, it's going to be a real tongue twister. From what I gather, in Ukrainian you say something like this: first hour 15 minutes, or second hour 30 minutes. Let's do it. At the very least, I'm getting an idea of the sounds. In the table we have English, the Roman alphabet transliteration, and how I hear it. That's in the speech marks. First hour, перша година. Second hour, друга година. Third hour, третя година. Fourth hour, четвърта година. Fifth hour, пята година. Sixth hour, шоста година. Seventh hour, сьома година. Eighth hour, восьма година. Ninth hour, дев'ята година. 10th hour, десята година. 11th hour, одинайсята година. 12th hour, дванайсята година. All this talk of hot dinners, година, is making me hungry. I have my lunch at 12:00 and it's now 11:40. Let's have a look at the minutes. 5 minutes. 5 chwilyn. 10 minutes. 10 chwilyn. 15 minutes. 15 chwilyn. 20 minutes. 20 chwilyn. 25 minutes. 25 chwilyn. 30 minutes. 30 chwilyn. 35 minutes. 35 chwilyn. 40 minutes. 40 chwilyn. 45 minutes. 45 chwilyn. 50 minutes. 50 chwilyn. 55 minutes. 55 chwilyn. Now you can make any chas you like. 11:40 is 11th hour or night sieta chodina, 40 minutes. Sorok piet chwilyn. What time do you have dinner? If you have the patience, it's a great exercise to count through the hours in 5-minute intervalami. In language classes, that is called a drill, and they're a little bit out of modi. They work dobre, though. Drills help you learn the vocabulary and give you confidence and can be a good part of your language learning strategy. Private shared space. If someone is coming to stay with you, they will need their own space, and so will you. Refugees come with stresom I szokum, and they usually need somewhere safe, dry and quiet to make contact with their blitzkimi. Once you have made sure their immediate fizyczne needs are met and they are able to charge swoje telefony, they will probably want to shut the door. Being host to a stranger in need may take a lot of emocjonohi energii from you, and you will need your space alone or with your own blitzkimi. Here are some things you might like to say. This room is mine. Це кімната моя. This is private. Це приватне. This room is yours. Це кімната твоя. Don't go in there. Не заходи туди. This is my children's room. Це моя дитяча кімната. You can sit here with us. Ти можеш сидіти тут з нами. I like Slova for child and children. Let's have a look at a few of them. Ditina is child and dzieci is children. My child is moja ditina and my children is moi dite. One way of saying your child is wasza ditina and your children is wasi dite. Another way of saying your child is twoja ditina and your children twoi dite. I'm finding out that there is quite a lot of complexity in Ukrainian. I was expecting it and I can cope because ja nie perfekcjonist. I have just found out one more useful word. Okay is harar, pronounced harat. Learn the word harad. Guess test 5. Idejeju. Adaptowati. Może. Ja nie znaju. Interwalami. Modi. Dobre. Strategia. Stresom I szokom. Kontakt. Bliskimi. Swoje telefony. Emocjoni energii. Ja nie perfekcjonist. Record yourself and listen back. Save the file. Come in. Uwijit. Put your shoes here. Postawte tufli sudi. This cupboard is for you. Це шафа dla was. Thank you. Dyakuyu. You can cook. Można gotować. Put rubbish here. pokladit sюди сміття. Okay, harad. Good night, na dobranic. Good night, na dobranic. House Rules Part 2. Housework. One of the things I have read in accounts of refugees is that they often have the feeling that life is in limbo. Doing simple tasks, together or alone, can help make chas feel more purposeful. So you might like to offer little roboti to a person. As part of the house rules, you might also want or need to ask a person to clean up after themselves. Here are a few phrases. The aim is to get used to a little bit domovi. This is the vacuum cleaner. Tse pilosos. This is how it works. Os jak chce pracuje. You can clean your room. Wy możecie przebrać swoją kimnatu. Can you help me? Możesz dopomogти meni. The bathroom. KievTourGuide.com writes this, 12 November 2019. It might come as a surprise to many travellers to Ukraine that flushing toaletny papier in Ukraine is absolutno no. Ukraine is not unique here. There are several Western European countries where flushing paper down the toilet is not the correct thing to do. This means that you might need to tell your ukrainskim hostiam what can and cannot be flushed down the toilet u waszumu domi. Delikatna rozmowa that can be done easily with sliv jak tak, here, not this, this goes here. So this yes, ts tak, this no, tse ni. This in the toilet. Tse w toaleci. This in the bin. Tse w koshiku. You might like to create a bathroom picture dictionary. This could be useful and will definitely help you to learn and use some of the vocabulary. Here are some words you could include. Bathroom, vana kimnata. Toilet, toilet. Toilet paper, toaletny papier. Bin, smitnik. Sink, takovna. Hot water, haryacha voda. Cold water, holodna voda. Toothpaste, zubna pasta. Toothbrush, zubna szczitka. Cupboard, szafa. Mirror, dzerkalo. Shelf, policja. Shower, dush. Towel, rusznik. In my house we have odnawana kimnata. It has dush, rakovina, and a couple of szaf and a mirror. It is the place where I go for toilet, wash, czyszczu zuby, and put on my makeup. If I had hostie, I would want them to leave vanu kimnatu clean and dry. I would want clean rushniki hung up on the towel rail or on another radiator. I would want brudni rushniki to be put in the laundry basket or in the washing machine if there was a full load to go in. I don't have many hosti come to stay. I read on the site borgenproject.org 24th of March 2017 that tap voda in the southern regions of Ukraine is not safe to drink. So one more thing you might like to tell your hostju is if it is safe to drink your tap vodu. Guess test 6. Look at these words that were embedded in the text in House Rules Part 2. Try to guess what they mean and check your answers in the text. Czas, roboti, domowy, toaletny papier, absolutno, ukraińskim hościom, u waszumu domi, Delikatna rozmowa. Sliv jak tak. Odnawana kimnata. Dusz. Rakovina. Hosti. Voda. Record yourself speaking. Record yourself and listen back and save the file. Możesz mені допомогти, будь ласка. Це пилосос. Добре, дякую. Match the threes. The task here is to match the words in the Ukrainian alphabet with the transcriptions in our alphabet and with the English words, 3 per group. A real puzzle. Zubna pasta. Tualet. Smitnik. Rusznik. Szafa. Dusz. About communication. The goal of mowy is to communicate. The goal of this bukletu is to get started with the sounds, the vocabulary, the differences v grammatyce, and above all with the confidence to have a go. The top instrumentum for those who can write will be an app such as Google Translate. Це не ідеально, але дуже добре. Speak slowly. Говори повільно. Say that again. Скажи це ще раз. Show me. Покажи мені. Teach me. Навчи мене. Ми можемо communicate a massive amount of meaning без слів through showing and acting. Communicating with limited мовою is an act of creativity and can be very satisfying. Combine a great translation app, a willingness to learn, and you have a winning kombinacja. I don't understand. Я не розумію. Do you understand? Ти розумієш. Is it wrong? Чи це неправильно? I'm sorry. Вибачте. Duolingo is another brilliant place for you to learn a little more Ukrainian. There is a reason it is such a popularny dodadok. It is easy to access and it's a pleasant way to spend trochę czasu with your new movuyo. If you haven't already installed it as one of your favourites, make sure you download it next razu you are na swojemu telefonie. You speak too fast. Ви говорите занадто швидко. I speak too fast. Я говорю занадто швидко. Repeat after me. Повтори за мною. Little by little. Мало по мало. When you start trying to communicate with a real human being, it will inevitably be quite different to playing v dodatku or reading this book. You will need to be honest, always the best polityka. Say when you don't rozumiesz. If your message is important, don't give up if you don't get it across pierwszego razu. I like this word. Meni podobaється це слово. What is this in Ukrainian? Jak це українською? Be patient. Будьте терплячі. It's complicated. Це складно. When we speak, наші акценти will probably be horrible, and so will наша граматика. If someone's being kind enough to try to teach you, have a go at repeating what they are saying. I like your accent. Мені подобається твій акцент. You speak well. Ти добре говориш. How do you say this? Як ти це кажеш? Tell me again. Розкажи мені знову. Як новачок, though, it will be so difficult. If ваша граматика та акцент are all wrong, але людина вас розуміє, take that as a win. So you said something like my friend, and it should have been my friendu or my friendia. Я не знаю. In my book, beginners are winners if they get the dart somewhere on the dartboard. You don't have to hit the bullseye. Guess test 7. Bukletu. Gramatici. Це не ідеально, але дуже добре. Без слів. Комбінація. Популярний додаток. На своєму телефоні. Політика. Розумієш. Акценти. Новачок. Людині вас розуміє. Я не знаю. Record yourself speaking. Record yourself and listen back. Save the file. Як це українською? Їжа. Ви говорите занадто швидко. Скажи це ще раз. Їжа. Ти добре говориш. Дякую. Match the threes. Match the words in the Ukrainian alphabet, the transcriptions in our alphabet, and the English words, 3 per group. Розкажи мені знову. Мало помало. Як ти це кажеш? Basic needs. Meals. I tend to eat breakfast at 7 година. Lunch at 12 година. And my evening meal about 6 година. I have tea and coffee throughout the day too. Let's find out what that vocabulary is in Ukrainian. Breakfast. Sніданок. Lunch. Обід. Evening meal. Вечеря. Tea and coffee. Чай і кава. На сніданок, I usually have a cup of чаю and a bowl of oats soaked in soya molosty. In general, Ukrainians eat bread and butter, do чаю чи кави, or pastries, or they might have steamed buckwheat, barley or millet, z молоком. Na obід, I usually have a sandwich, maybe fried egg or perhaps cheese salad. I often have a piece of fructif too, and maybe paketik chipsiv. According to the website foodbycountry.com, the main meal in Ukraine is eaten around mid-afternoon and usually consists of zupu and a dish with meat or poultry. For my večeri tonight I had pasta. Yesterday I made a leek and potato dish. I often have vegetariansky hamburger I chipsy z broccoli or sweet corn. I have most variety in my evening meal, and it is my main meal of the day. Food by Country tells me that it is considered impolite to put your elbows on the table. It says Ukrainians may eat everything on their plates. When they're visiting, Ukrainians may ask for second helpings to show appreciation for the food. Hosts often give guests a loaf of bread with salt on top. Tradicja that dates back many centuries. Bread and salt were once considered necessary ingredientami for health. The bread represents hospitality and the salt represents drużbu. If you invite Ukraińców to eat and drink with you, you might like to make toast. Here are a couple of suggestions for raising your glasses. To our meeting. Za zустріч. To friends. Dla друзів. We all hope that Vina v Ukraini will be over as soon as possible, perhaps before I finish writing this book or before you finish reading it, as soon as possible. We all hope that Ukrainian people will be able to return to their domivok and rebuild their lives in prosperity and peace. I hope that we can learn some of this prekrasnu movu and use it jak turysti visiting this amazing krajinu. I hope we can be welcomed jak hosti of Ukrainian people and raise these tosti at their tables. To peace. Za mir. Za mir. Guest test 8. Shosta hodina. czaju ta kawy z molukom, salat, fruchty, paczku chipsów, sup, wegetariański hamburger, chipsy z broccoli, ingredientami, drużbu, jak turysty, krajinu, jak hości. Record yourself speaking. Record yourself and listen back. Save the file. Breakfast. Snidanok. I don't understand. Ja nie rozumію. Show me. Pokażę mnie. Tea and coffee. Chai I kawa. Do you like it? Wam це подобається? I like it, yes. Meni podobaється tak. Thank you. Dyakuyu. Match the threes. Obiad. Вечеря. Snidanok. Basic needs. Getting about. First of all, if I was going out and about in a strange place where ja nie rozmawiam mowою, I would want to make sure I had the adresa of the place I was staying at in the local alphabetum. That way, people could help me get do domu if I got lost, and I get lost fairly easily. I would also want a way to make contact with my host if that was możliwe. This is our address. Це наша адреса. Just ask someone. Просто запитай когось. If you get lost, якщо ти заблукаєш, send me a message. Надішліть мені повідомлення. Second of all, there might be help available for a refugee where you are. If there is a local refugee centre, they will be able to advise about what is available and how to access it. В інтернеті I can see that there може бути transport passes, access to welfare and services. If you want to tell a Ukrainian about výstan, their unit of measurement is kilometer. Or you can use our old druha czas to say skilki czasu it takes to walk somewhere. This is the supermarket. Це supermarket. This is the refugee centre. Це centrum dla bieżeńców. 5 minutes on foot. 5 хвилин пішки. It's 4 kilometers. Це 4 kilometri. Thirdly, bez my car, I would want to know where I could get to I jak. Are there trains? Are there autobusy? How frequent are they? What is there within walking distance? Or do I need to use public transportum? I like being independent. It makes me feel free, and I avoid feeling like a burden. Buy a return ticket. Придбати зворотний квиток. Buy a day ticket. Купити денний квиток. It's expensive. Це дорого. I'm going by car. Я їду на машині. How do you get about? Walk, пішки, bus, autobus, train, потяг, bike, velociped, car, automobil. Guess test 9. Я не розмовляв мовою. Adresa. Alfabetom. Додому. Можливо. w internecie, výzdan, kilometr, druha, skilki czasu, bez, autobusy, transportom. Record yourself speaking. Це супермаркет. Купуйте зворотний квиток, якщо ти заблукаєш. Просто запитай когось. Це наша адреса. Match the threes. 5 хвилин пішки. Купуйте зворотний квиток. Купуйте денний квиток. Network. Ця інформація is paraphrased from the website refugeecouncil.org.uk. In the UK, the Refugee Council supports refugee community organisations. Цими організаціями are run for and by біженці. They help provide links to refugee communities so people can connect with others who share culture, marvel and experience. These networks of people who have direct experience of what life is like for біженців can help to identify and communicate challenges and opportunities. Friends, друзі, Ukrainian people, Український народ, refugee, біженець, experts, експертів, help and support, допомога та підтримка. На момент of writing, 17th of March 2022, over 3 million people have fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion began in February, according to the UNHCR website. It is serce-breaking. Ukraine's people want to live в мирі in Ukraine with своїми друзями and their families. As біженцями, they will need each other for support. They може need you to help them to access the local Ukrainian community. They might not. The numbers are huge, але each person's ситуація will be унікальною. Thank you. My aim in writing this booklet was to open up українську мову to you and to me. I am still absolutely новачок with this language at the end of this book, але I have more confidence to go forward. I have discovered I like the sounds. I have found lots of slif that are fairly easy to recognize, and that helps. I'm even beginning to get a little bit of confidence with the іншим alphavitom. I hope I have done the same для вас. Instrumentами I am going to use to continue with this language are Google Translate and Duolingo. They are both easy to use, and I don't like things to be difficult. There is one more section in this booklet, a section on szkolu, which I have written to help people who might find themselves working with українськими дітьми. You might like to continue and read this section too. Дякуємо for buying this booklet. All the proceeds are going to the Disasters Emergency Комітету to support людей who really need support. Dyakuyu for that donation. Dyakuyu za czas, attention and effort to learn a little of цю мову. I wish you good дружби та миру. Guest test 10. На момент мільйони. Ситуація унікальною. Booklet. Absolutny новачок. Іншим алфавітом. Instrumentami. Szkolu. Dyakuyu za czas. Dieти are in the business of learning movu. I would say that it's our business too. even if you don't work z dziećmi. Lots of the language in this section is direct. Funkcjonalnymi ta dobrymi. You might find it very useful. A few phrases for school. There is actually quite a lot here, but if you get to know what is where, then wy możecie use it without memorizing everything, just by keeping your book to hand. Ja nowaczok. This is a great place to start. It's about having a go, getting used to some of the sounds. This book is about making Ukrainian feel accessible to you. By trying to use some of this mowy, you're being a role model and making Ukrainian people feel bajanyemi. Coming in. Hello. Привіт. Good morning. Доброго ранку. Come in. Увійдіть. Wipe your feet. Вітрите ноги. That's how you do it. Так ти це робиш? Welcome. Ласкаво просимо. It's lovely to see you. Приємно бачити тебе. Don't run. Не бігай. Put your coat here. Поклади сюди пальто. Here. Тут. Look. Подивись. This is your name. Це твоє ім'я. Clothes. Your coat. Твоє пальто. Your hat. Твій капелюх. Your scarf. Твій шарф. Your gloves. Твої рукавички. Your glasses. Твої окуляри. Your shoes. Твоє взуття. Your trousers. Твої штани. Your jumper. Твій jumper. Your dress. Твоє плаття. Your t-shirt. Твоя футболка. Your skirt. Твоя спідниця. Your PE kit. Твій спортивний комплект. Creating table. You need an apron. Тобі потрібен фартух. You can paint. Можна фарбувати. Red. Czerwony. Orange. Pomarańczowy. Yellow. Żółty. Green. Zielony. Blue. Sinyi. Purple. Fioletowy. Brown. Korycznewy. Grey. Siry. Black. Czarny. White. Biały. Careful. Obereżno. Paper. Papier. Water. Woda. Paint. Farba. Glue. Clay. Scissors. Nożyce. It is big. Це велике. It is small. Воно маленьке. It is beautiful. Це красиво. It is messy. Це безлад. Don't do that. Не робіть цього. Have you finished? Чи ти закінчив? You have time. Ти встигаєш? Tidy up time. Час навести порядок. Good boy. Хороший хлопець. Good girl. Хороша дівчина. Snacks and lunch. Are you hungry? Ти голодний? Are you thirsty? Ти хочеш пити? Wash your hands. Мойте руки. A little bit. Трохи. Is it tasty? Чи смачно? Eat it. Же їсти це. Drink it. Ви пийте це. I like it. Mені це подобається. It's delicious. Це смачно. Do you want more? Ти хочеш більше? Some fruit. Деякі фрукти. Some salad. Трохи салату. A biscuit. Biscuit. A drink of water. Вода. A drink of milk. Молоко. Not in your pocket. Не в кишені. Say please. Скажи, будь ласка. Say thank you. Скажи спасибі. It's lunchtime. Настав час обіду. Do you want to try some? Хочеш спробувати? Your fork. Твоя вилка. Your knife. Твій ніж. This is your spoon. Це твоя ложка. Your lunch. Твій обід. Your pudding. Твій пудінг. Your drink. Твій напій. Careful. Обережно. Don't worry. Не хвилюйся. Let's clean that up. Давайте почистимо це. Do you want more? Ти хочеш більше? Do you like it? Тобі це подобається? Put it here. Покладіть це сюди. Counting. 0. Нуль. 1. Один. 2. Два. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 12. More. Більше. Fewer. Менше. Many. Багато. How old are you? Скільки тобі років? Making friends. What is your name? Як тебе звати? You are my friend. Ти мій друг. We are friends. Мой дружі. I am your friend. Я твій друг. He is your friend. Він твій друг. She is your friend. Вона твій друг. Me too. Я також. Come with me. Пішли зі мною. Play with me. Пограй зі мною. Play together. Грати разом. This is David. Це David. This is Anna. Це Анна. Hold hands. Триматися за руки. This is your partner. Це твій партнер. That is kind. Це мило. Thank you. Дякую. Instructions. Which one do you want? Якого ти хочеш? It's your turn. Твоя черга. It's my turn. Моя черга. Run. Бігти. Walk. Ходити. Jump. Стрибати. Be very quiet. Будьте дуже тихі. Stand up. Встати. Sit down. Siedete. Turn around. Obernis. Hands up. Ruki vhoru. Faster. Szybciej. Slow down. Spowolnite. Move forward. Ruchati się wперед. Stop. Stop. Show me. Pokażę mnie. Tidy up. Przybrati. Write it. Napiszcie. Copy me. Skopiuj mnie. Draw it. Namaluj його. Look at me. Подивись на мене. Be careful. Будь обережний. Well done. Молодець. You won. Ти виграв. Clap your hands. Klopaj w dłoni. Hygiene. Do you need the toilet? Tobie potrzebny toalet. Shut the door. Zakryw drzwi. Come out of there. Wyjdę zwідти. Pull your trousers up. Підтягнути штани вгору. Wash your hands. Мойте руки. Use some soap. Використовуйте трохи мила. Turn the tap off. Закрити кран. Dry your hands. Висушити руки. Put it in the bin. Покладіть його в смітник. Show me. Покажи мені. Here's a tissue. Ось серветка. Blow your nose. Висмокатися. Wipe your nose. Витріть ніс. Look at me. Подивись на мене. That is good. Це добре. Very good. Дуже добре. Feelings. Happy. Szczęśliwy. Sad. Sumny. Surprised. Zdivowany. Excited. Zbudzeni. Angry. Zły. Worried. Sturbowany. Brave. Chorobry. Proud. Hordy. Tired. Wtomływся. Come here. Chodź сюди. A quiet space. Тихий простір. Does it hurt? Це боляче? Show me. Покажи мені. Let's patch you up. Давайте залатаємо тебе. You are all right. З тобою все добре. Are you all right now? Ти зараз добре? Let's call home. Давай подзвонимо додому. talking and learning. Please. Будь ласка. Thank you. Дякую. I'm sorry. Вибачте. I don't understand. Я не розумію. Do you understand? Ти розумієш? It doesn't matter. Це не має значення. Louder. Голосніше. Say sorry. Попроси пробачення. What is it? Що це? What is it called? Як це називається? What are you called? Як тебе звати? What do you think? Як ти гадаєш? Wow! Ого! Say yes. Скажи так. Do you remember? Ти пам'ятаєш? I forgot. Я забув. What is in the room? Your pen. Твоя ручка. Your pencil. Твій олівець. The books. Книги. Paper. Папір. Carpet. Килим. Door. Двері. Window. Вікно. Chair. Стілець. Table. Steel. Bookshelf. Книжкова полиця. Computer. Computer. The bin. Смітник. The box. Коробка. The toys. Іграшки. The cars. Автомобілі. The water bottles. Пляшки з водою. Home time. Time to go home. Час йти додому. Take this home. Забери це додому. Get your coat. Візьми пальто. Do you have your things? У тебе є речі? We had a good day. Ми добре провели день. Come back tomorrow. Приходь завтра. See you tomorrow. Побачимось завтра. There's your mum. Там твоя мама. There is your grown-up. Там твій дорослий. He has been very good. Він був дуже хорошим. She has been very good. Вона була дуже гарною. Папа. Final guess test. How many of these Ukrainian words can you guess at? It's good to focus on the positive. Of the words that you do recognise, how many could you use? The answers are in the final pages of the booklet. The test is a whopping 107 words and phrases. I would love to know how many of them you recognise. If you would like to get in touch, it's ruth@spanglishfantastico.com. Papa. Absolutno. Adaptувати. Адреса. Акценті. Але дуже добре. Алфавітом. Англійська. Автобусі. Бабусі. Мовний бар'єр. Без слів. Братів і сестер. Будь ласка. Буклет. Чипси з брокколі. Делікатна розмова тат. Демонстрація проста. До чаю чекали. Dobre. Dodому. Дружби та солідарності. Друзями. Душ. Дякую за час. Екстремальний. Фотографії. Вручив. Функціональним. Гості. Групи. Ідеальним. Ідеєю. Інгредієнтами. Іншим алфавітом. Інструментами. Інтервалами. Іспанською. Кілометр. Комбінація. Компанія. Конфлікту. Контакт. Країну. Людина вас розуміє. Методу. Мільйони. Мой акт. Моди. Мови. Моя англійська ідеальна. Моя мета. Моїми братами. Може. Можливо. На момент. На своєму телефоні. Новачка. Пакетик чіпсів. Політика. Польську. Популярний додаток. Потреби. Практикувати. Правда. Роботи. Розумієш. Салат. Серці. Школу. 6 година. Сімча. Скільки часу. Слів як так. Столом. Стратегії. Стресом і шоком. Студентів. Ситуація. Транспортом. Це не ідеально. Туалетний папір. Типу граматики. У ресторанах. У вашому домі. Українська бабуся. Українські слова в текст. Українську граматику. Українську мову. Українським гостям. Унікальною. В інтернеті. Вашим актом дружби. Вегетаріанський гамбургер. Великі групи. Відстань. Вода. Я читав. Я не перфекціоніст. Я не розмовляв мовою. Я не знаю. Я рекомендую. Як гости. Як туристи. З молоком. Цупу. Знайди друга. Thank you, Dyakuyu, for watching, reading this video book. Learning language is not a magical process. Well, it is magical, but it doesn't happen with a wave of the wand. It happens with immense levels of exposure. So to learn Ukrainian, you have to take immense levels of exposure to Ukrainian. That's what I'm recommending. My next step, I'm going to buy the book from Amazon, Ukrainian one day at a time. Refugees have to take their lives one day at a time. Learning language, we're going to do that one day at a time. And it does give you a feeling in the head, a feeling that you've made some effort. But think about these, is it Blizhimi? These refugees, their heads are already overloaded. So let's take on the challenge of learning a little bit of domovu ourselves and try to lighten their burden just a little bit. Please buy the book. All my proceeds will be donated to the Disasters Emergency Committee to help people on the ground. Dyakuyu. Papa.